So, one of the things that I really wanted to talk about specifically with US academics is what's happening in the current market and why that may influence your job market this year. So, the first thing that's happening in the United States is we have a demographic cliff coming up. So, the United States birth rate peaked in 2007. And since then, since 2007, the birth rate has been decreasing. Well, why does that number 2007 matter? 2007, those kids are actually freshmen. They were their first years in college this year. So they just went to college. So we have had growth in college education, and we just hit the peak. And so now we're going to be seeing a decrease in the number of enrollments. It's not going to influence that much over the next 5 years, but when we start hitting the births from 2012, 2015, we're going to see less and less enrollment at the undergraduate level. Less enrollment means less tuition. Less tuition means less money. Okay, so that's one thing that universities are really looking at, is the overall demographic cliff that's coming. So they're thinking about that as they're building their strategic plans for everything at a university. The second thing that's really been happening in the United States is conversations on the value of a college education. And this has become very political in the States, where people are wondering why we're sending kids to college, if college is worth the money, if would you even need a college education to have a good job? And that is, we're pretty sure, definitely causing kids not to go to college because they're like, oh, I'll just go be an electrician or something like that, which is perfectly fine job. Don't like electricians make wicked money. But it's causing kids to think about college very differently than our generation. And that, I mean, I'm a generation ahead of you, but even your generation, how kids are thinking about college is really different. It's also really interesting right now. We're having a little bit of a crisis of males going to college. They're not going. Most universities are about 60% women and 40% men. So boys aren't going to college. We don't know why that is. Additionally, college has gotten very, very expensive in the United States. So my son goes to the University of Minnesota and he is a sophomore, so he's a second year. Tuition is due next week for the fall semester. It is $40,000 for the fall semester. Oh, sorry, 20,000 for the 20,000 for 40,000 for the year just for tuition.
Wow.
He's out of state. In state, it would be about half. So if he would have chose to go in state, it's about $20,000 for the year, but he chose out of state. Now, what if you had two children? Right now, you've got all that money. So in the United States, college is wicked expensive, especially for those of you who come from around the world where you're like, college is free. And so that is something that is influencing people going to school. With the current climate since January, we also know that there's going to be a decline of international students because they can't get visas. Or they've chosen that this isn't a place that looks attractive to them. I'm looking around the room. I'm not telling anyone in this room that something that is not a surprise, but it will influence because international students pay out of state tuition. It's a lot of money and it's going to influence the finances of the university. And the last thing that's really happening in US academics is an uncertainty of funding. We're hoping that the NIH budget looks good for it. It's looking good. I don't know if any of you have been following the news, but this week it's looking good. This 40% cut, I don't think that's happening.
Just the House budget.
But the House budget looked good. The House and the Senate kind of agree. They still have to pass it, but it looks better. But there's still been, since January, a lot of shakeup in funding for science and uncertainty for funding for science and grants and things like that. There's been an incredible number of executive orders, some of them that have really stressed out universities. Universities are some of the private universities have been incredibly stressed. And we just don't know what the future of STEM is going to look like. So it's a really weird time for all of you to be kind of thinking about an academic faculty search. And I'm really sorry because it wasn't supposed to happen this close to the last time it happened, which was during COVID. You all were supposed to be like, wee, right? Like this, like it's back to normal. And then this has happened. So this is really hard. And I really want to like, I want to make sure that you know that I know that there is worry. We are not sure what's going to happen for this academic cycle. It is still too early to know. Let me show you why. I have data on why this is still too early to know what's going to happen. And I'm going to flip to this next slide and I'll come back. There is this guy, ChemJobber. ChemJobber posts for the past 7 years, he calculates how many chemistry jobs, this is specifically chemistry, but I don't think it matters. I think this is going to be almost identical for every field of STEM. But he's plotted chemistry jobs and he does it, it's cumulative. So here on the x-axis is date, and then the cumulative number of ads that are open is on Y. And so here, this is August 20th. So we're like right here in this graph. So the fact that you're not seeing lots of job ads yet is not a surprise. You shouldn't expect to see a lot of job ads because starting around here, we go into this exponential growth phase until about November. And so from September to November, we'll have an exponential growth phase of job ads that are posted. And so the fact that you haven't seen a ton so far is normal. Now, I say that, and I also want to acknowledge that we still think there's going to be a decrease this year. Our best guess is that there will be about a 20% decrease in applications that you see posted, in ads you see posted, 20%. We also think that some of the faculty searches are going to be delayed. So normally, once you get to about November, you're not seeing any additional job ads really being posted. It just stops. We think that that growth is going to kind of go out a little bit longer. But again, that's predictions. That's me looking into my crystal ball and having hope that it's not going to be less than 20%. Couple of things that we're definitely seeing, and you all are also telling me, is more international searches. This is the first year I've heard more people say they want to get out of the United States. I've been doing this job for 20 years. And so this is the first time I've seen more of you say, oh, wait, maybe not. And additionally, the communication from places abroad has been a lot different this year, where they're like, no, come, like we want you. Let's put in more money and things like that. I still don't think that around the world is, even though they're saying those words, that they're actually ready to fund all the science that they're trying to recruit back to their countries. But I'm hopeful. And so I'm definitely seeing more international searches, and like the European Union is trying to create additional like Horizons grants. France basically said, come here, but getting a job in France is a whole nother, it's a whole nother system. So while I understand that everybody is interested in around the world, trying to figure out all of those other application cycles, tests, other types of things that exist within that for around the world, it may be difficult because it's so much work, right? And you already have real jobs. And so trying to do all of those. So if you need help, Laura and I can both kind of help out with that as you ponder that international search. The other thing we're seeing is more folks looking at states that they maybe wouldn't have looked at, like in the middle of the country. State schools that are not necessarily the flagship school, they're the next level down. So for example, here in this area, if you're thinking about like University of Maryland, Hopkins, and Georgetown, the next level down is like George Mason. Like it's that level that folks are looking at, because sometimes those state schools with state money have more stability right now. I would normally have said the private schools have more stability, but we've seen what's happened to Harvard and Columbia. So a lot of folks are looking at state-funded schools. There is some cool, great new collaborative data. This faculty job market, and you guys will all get the slides afterwards. Emily sends slides. This is a great way to like look at kind of what's happening in the job market. I just give it to you. Also, at the end of the year, they ask people to fill out the data, and I really wish you fill out the data so that we all know what's happening. Diversity, equity, and inclusion statements are in flux. I haven't seen any job ads yet this year that are asking for diversity statements. We'll talk about what they're asking for instead, but some of you feel very passionate about diversity and still want to talk about it, and that's okay. You can still talk about diversity in your teaching statements, in your cover letters, and other places if that's something you're really passionate about. One of the things we saw in the last cycle, so the 2024-2025 cycle, is that the time pressure to negotiate was much faster. Like they made decisions and you had to say yes or no very quickly last year. And I think that stressed a lot of people out. One of the challenges with that is, though, that most of the job offers typically come in February, March, and April. And that's exactly when everybody got shaken, right? Like the whole system was shaken. And so I think that universities were like, we got to close this, otherwise it's gone. And so that's why I think last year. So hopefully this year you won't see as much of a time pressure for making deals, but we don't know. I did also see a reduction of startup funds for last year. Not a lot, maybe about 10%, but startup funds were a little bit less.
You see a difference in terms of positions that were funded by like soft money or hard money, like where schools where?
No,
Okay.
not really. Not really. Oh, wait, hey, Veronica's seen one that's asked for a diversity statement. I don't know where that's at, but very few. And then the other thing that I've definitely been seeing is that applicants, if you guys want to shut the door, you can. Applicants are assessing local political climates. And so you may choose not to go to a particular state because it doesn't fit your values or doesn't fit your lifestyle. And I've seen that happen more and more. It's hard because you need a job. But it's also hard to live someplace where you don't feel like you're going to be valued. So, okay,